Hold on. Joy cometh in the morning. Boy, have I got a red hot morning motivation for you this morning. That's why I wore my red shirt and not my white shirt, because it's red hot. If you've never been to the channel before, if you don't know who I am, my name is Mark, and I welcome you to another episode of Morning Motivations. If you're feeling discouraged and you're looking for encouragement this morning, I welcome you to stay and watch this whole video until the end, because I guarantee at the end of this video, you will not be the same as you was when you first turned it on to watch it. You know, life, when we live life, we don't get the opportunity to see the whole thing as it's going to be. We get to see it in little pieces, moment by moment, day by day, week by week. And it's like a puzzle. If you get a 5,000 piece puzzle and you grab a few pieces in your hand and you're flipping through them and you're looking at them, it don't make much sense. You got a red one over here, you got a blue one over here, and a green one. You're not really sure how it all goes together. And you may even get a few of those pieces together and get a part of it together. But a part of the puzzle does not equal the whole picture. And that's how it is in our lives. We do not get the advantage of seeing our lives as a whole. We only get to live each moment at a time. But as we go on, we can begin to see it as a beautiful mosaic. I have learned in life that storms do not come necessarily to block our path, as they do to create new paths. You know, almost every great thing that's ever happened to me in life has come on the heels of a chaotic event. I remember one time back in 08 or maybe 07, I got laid off my job. I had just gotten married, and it was a real struggle. You know, I didn't know what I was going to do. The nation was in the middle of a housing crisis, and I have usually been able to get jobs pretty easily, but this time I looked for work for 3 weeks. My applications were not being accepted. I wasn't getting calls back for interviews. And 3 weeks had went by and I was battling depression and I didn't know what to do. But it was in the midst of that turmoil that I got the idea to start my own business. And from starting that business, I went on to learn skills that would help me start another business and another business and then another business. And I consider myself today to be a serial entrepreneur. And all of that came because I got laid off my job. You know, sometimes we have to be made uncomfortable because it's time to move up to another level. Growth never occurs in comfort zones. We have to be made uncomfortable before we can grow, before we can mature, before we can advance to the next level. That's important now. I want you to get a hold of that. I want you to grasp that. Growth does not occur when we are comfortable. You know, I'm looking here at my book. I'm pulling some of this from my book this morning. I wrote this book, Up Your Averages, a daily guide to improving the quality of your life. And I wrote here, I said, some of the best things in my life have come to me on the heels of a chaotic storm. Clarity has come in times of uncertainty. And I have learned to trust my higher power, not because he shielded me from all the consequences of my stupid decisions, but because he shouldered the consequences with me. He led me safely through toils, snares, and the scattered debris of my life. If you are going through something today, I would encourage you to keep your head up, to keep going. It is a bad day or even a bad week, but it's not a bad life. And absolutely everything in life changes. Everything. The people in our life change. So do our likes, our wants, our desires. How we feel, our emotions, how we think is as temperamental as the weather. All of it will pass, including your bad days, your embarrassments, your humiliations, your failures. None of them last. So hold on, I say. Joy cometh in the morning. I want you to be encouraged today, people. I appreciate you joining the channel, but I don't do this for me. I believe that in my life, I have been through incredible amounts of uncomfortableness. I have been through incredible amounts of strain, hardships, trials, troubles. And I'm no different than many of y'all in that way. Not that I'm some especially grieved person, but we all deal with it. Life is hard. But it's during those times that we reach our potential. It's during those times that we grow. And if you're in that state right now, I want to encourage you to keep on. You know, I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and I haven't yet learned to edit where I could splice them all together. Otherwise, I'd love to show it to you right here. I'd go to a green screen and I'd put that video up and all that. But I haven't learned all that yet. But either way, I'll just tell it to you. So I was watching this YouTube video the other day, and this girl was talking about how to grow her channel. And this particular girl has been on YouTube for 4 years, at least at the time she made the video. And she was talking about in her first year, she gained 10,000 subscribers. But she had much higher aspirations than that. And she was feeling real discouraged, and she was going to quit. And she was giving some real thought to giving up her channel. And she kept going. And 2 months later, after she had that thought and that serious consideration, that doubt, that self-doubt, 2 months later, a couple of her videos went viral. And she ended up with over 200,000 subscribers that year, where it had taken her the previous year to get 10,000. Now in the next year, she got 200,000. Now her channel, it was monetized, and she was making money off of it, and she was able to afford a nice apartment and lots of wonderful things. But what stuck out to me was she said, what if I had quit? All that I've accomplished, I would have cheated myself out of. And that, folks, that's what stuck with me. What if you quit? What are you going to cheat yourself out of? Don't do that. Don't do that. And if you hear some noise in the background, I think I got the trash people out there out front with the big truck, and they're picking up the trash, so I apologize for any outside noise, distractions, and disturbances here. But I don't want the message to be lost. You are so close to a breakthrough. And every time we go through a hard time, a hardship, or something uncomfortable, it's because we are ready to level up. Good things are coming. Something has to happen to change our direction. You know, I used to live in Colorado. I love Colorado. It was snow, it was mountains, and I was away from everything I couldn't stand about Florida. And if it had been up to me, I'd have probably stayed. I liked it. I was comfortable. But I was in a relationship in Colorado that made me highly uncomfortable. I would come home from work at night and I would dread it, and I wouldn't like it. No matter what I tried to do to make that relationship work, that relationship did not work. And no matter what I tried to do to hold on to Colorado, just the doors began to close. I used to drive DoorDash up there, and I got a notice one day after everything that was happening. I got a notice that they were deactivating me. So I felt like I had lost my job. I felt like the relationship I was in, it wasn't worth a damn. And I ended up sick of Colorado. Not the state itself. The state was beautiful. I'd have liked to have been there, but the circumstances that I was living in up there, I didn't want to be there. And I got down and I got depressed and I got discouraged. And I packed up and I left and I come back to Florida. Well, Florida's where I needed to be. That's where my kids are. That's where I met my wife. I've been married 2 times. I recently got married last year. That's where I met my wife. And as soon as I got back here, I started a business, and man, I started making money, and man, things just started working out for me. They were just falling right in line, like they were prescribed, almost like this was the plan. And I was holding up the plan by being in Colorado where I didn't need to be at. So sometimes life has to make us uncomfortable because we're not where we're supposed to be. Or it has to make us uncomfortable because there's something better for us. But in our comfortability, we won't move. So life has to make us uncomfortable. So if you're dealing with hardships today, I want to encourage you, don't quit. Don't give up. Your breakthrough is right around the corner. You don't want to go through everything that you've went through for nothing, just to quit. Don't quit. Joy cometh in the morning. Now, if you got something from that, I appreciate if you like this video. If you subscribe to the channel, it'll help my message get out to other people, and maybe they find a word of encouragement in it. So you can do your part to help me and them by subscribing to the channel and liking the video. And if you're interested in hearing more, I got these books here available on my website. I'll put a link to I'll put a link in the description below, and I got a special going on right now, a 2-book bundle on sale. So they're hardcover. They look real nice, and the 2 of these on your bookshelf is sure to make you smarter, wiser, and probably better looking. Up your average.